Hello everyone. Today we are going to see concurrency control part 2. In the previous video, already we have started with ensuring serializability by loss. Okay. And we have started with log-based protocol. Now today we are going to see a starvation of logs. Okay. Basically, what is the meaning of starvation? That means what we are trying to find something and we are not getting anything. Right. That is what the concept of starvation. Or we are hungry and we are not getting food. This is what the concept of starvation, right? Then it usually happens to large or long transaction. Likewise, here also it is going to happen to large or long transaction. Suppose the transaction T2 has shared mode lock on data item and T1 requests an exclusive mode lock on same data item. Remember here, try to understand here, T2 is the transaction which is having lock on the data item Q, suppose, on the data item Q. And it is locked in a shared mode, that is S mode, right? Now T1 is coming with the request. Which request? It want to lock this data item Q in an exclusive mode lock. Okay, in an exclusive mode lock. Now, as I said in the previous video, I have already shown you the compatibility matrix. Exclusive mode lock is not compatible with shared mode lock. That's why here see, T1 has to wait for T2 to release the shared mode lock. Since here exclusive mode lock is not compatible with shared mode lock, that's why here T1 has to wait, right? Next. Now suppose meanwhile, T3 requests a shared mode lock on the same data item, okay. Same data item, suppose Q is that data item, it is already held with T2. Right, in shared mode lock, okay? It is already held with T2 in shared mode. Now, T3 is coming with the request, right? T3 is coming with the request. But what request? It want to lock this data item in shared mode lock, right? Shared mode lock. So, definitely shared is compatible with shared. So, definitely T3 will be granted with the request, right? As it is compatible with T2, T3 will be granted the shared mode lock. At this point, consider T2 releases the lock. Okay. Now T2 has released the lock. Now T2 is not having Q with it. Okay. But then to here, T3 is still holding Q in shared mode lock, right? But again, there may be a new transaction T4 requesting a shared mode lock on the same data item. Suppose T4 has come here with a request shared mode lock on the same data item Q, then definitely it will be granted to this T4. As it is compatible with T3, T4 will be granted the shared mode lock. In this series, T1 never get the exclusive mode lock on the data item. The transaction T1 may never make progress and it is said to be starved. So this is what the concept of starvation of transaction, right? A transaction which is not getting a lock on any data item and because of it, it is not making any progress, then it is said to be as it is starving, right? Now to avoid this, now suppose we want transactions not to starve. To avoid this, there are certain procedures which must be followed. These are the two procedures, these are the two cases. If these two cases are satisfied, then there are the chances that transaction never enters into a starvation mode. Okay. If Ti requests X lock on Q, then it is granted if there is no other transaction holding a lock on Q in a mode that conflicts with M. M is any lock, say shared mode lock or exclusive lock. Okay. Now, Ti requests which lock? X lock on Q, exclusive lock on Q, right? If T1 is requesting exclusive lock on Q, then the condition here it is telling what? Q must be free. Q must be not held by or holded by any other transaction. Or the lock must be compatible mode. Right. But exclusive mode is not compatible with any of the other locks. Right. So, if no other transaction holding a lock on Q, then only T1 will be granted with the lock, right? Second condition which must be satisfied, there is no other transaction that is waiting for a lock on queue and that made its lock request before TM. So here it is very important to understand. Like here, ऐसा कोई दूसरा ट्रांजेक्शन नहीं होना चाहिए जो क्यू के लिए रुका हो. अगर रुका भी हो तो वो T1 से पहले रिक्वेस्ट नहीं भेजना चाहिए. Right? T1 must be the first to request lock on queue before any another transaction request on the queue for any lock. So these are the two conditions that must be satisfied so that it must be avoided that a transaction never enters as a starvation, right? So thank you for watching this video. Make a notes of this, right? If any doubt, feel free to comment in the comment section. Thank you.